Yo, what up, world? 502 King Paul. Now, I got a few viewer request videos that I've been meaning to get around to, but this one in particular I wanted to go ahead and knock out, man, because it's something that's been on my heart lately to speak on, something that has been on my mind, and I also had someone recently request this video, so I thought, this is a perfect opportunity for me to touch on this subject. Now, before I dive into it, I don't want to act like I'm an expert on this subject. I'm really not. All I can do is tell you my personal experiences and my personal thoughts on the subject matter. So the first one here I want to start off with is semen retention. Now, this has become something that is hugely popular now. You can find a lot of videos out on YouTube about semen retention, about NoFap. It's basically not masturbating, not ejaculating, and retaining a lot of your natural energy that your body produces. Now, me personally, benefits that I've noticed from semen retention, number one, is energy. Like I just said, you have way more energy. Physical energy seems to have like higher levels of testosterone when you're not constantly masturbating or ejaculating. And, before I get too deep into the video, if you are a very sensitive person, just try to bear with me, man. But I have to be honest on the subject matter. When you go extended periods of time and you do not ejaculate, you start to notice that your body seems to be more physically fit. You have way more energy to work out, chase after those goals in life that you really want to pursue. I've also noticed that when you're not masturbating, you seem to have more self-confidence. And I think a lot of this comes from the act of watching pornography. Because when you watch pornography, be honest with yourself. You normally feel pretty dirty when you're done with it. Immediately cut off, whatever video you are watching, and you just feel disgusting. It's an instant feeling right after your orgasm, whether you're a male or a woman. And I think that this plays into your self-esteem because, when you go out in public, and I'm just going to speak from personal experience here, when you go out in public, and, you have been practicing masturbation behind the scenes, it's something that you feel you kind of carry that guilt and shame around with you. And it comes off in your day-to-day interactions with other people. If you're a man and you're masturbating on a regular basis, you just find it hard to really have those one-on-one interaction with women. You find it hard to look people in the eyes. And it's kind of because in the back of your mind that you've done something that you really shouldn't do. And while I'm on that subject, I just want to say that if you feel like you shouldn't be doing it, then that is already a sign that God is working in your life. And you're giving yourself that pushback because you know that this is something that is not good for you. Besides the awkwardness in public or, not really being able to look women in the eye or men in the eyes, because this is not just a thing that is only exclusive to men. This is something that women go through as well. When you watch pornography, you start to view people in a different way. You view the opposite sex in a different way. There are negative consequences as well in your relationships in life. If you are having sex with one person and then you're watching these porno videos that have all these different people that you can just go and watch have sex, it makes your standards of beauty a lot higher. It makes your standards of sexual performance a lot higher than they really should be. It also places an emphasis on the physical outward appearance and not getting to actually know somebody on an inner level, getting to know what kind of person that other human being is on the inside. The intimacy of sex is pretty much taken away because, to be honest, man, when you're watching porno videos, you don't see a lot of foreplay. You don't see a lot of, dating and courting and all of this that goes along with, actual real relationships in life. You just see straight to sex, action, sex, end of scene. And this has a profound effect on your mind, just the way that you start to view people. And to be honest, your sexual performance starts to change as well because not only does it cause impotence, meaning that, for men, you can't get it up because you're so used to just seeing all of this different stuff. Even when you're watching porn videos, it's seldom that you're just watching one video at a time. You're taking a little bit from this one, a little bit from this one, a little bit of this one, and working it through. Well, when you're with another person, you can't just switch up people in the middle of sex. You're having sex with that one person. So it makes it pretty hard for you to, stay in the mood or stay in the mode to even be having sex when you're used to conditioning your body to act that way. When you're used to seeing different people and different actresses or actors, depending on if you're a male or a woman, it just makes it very hard for you to even get into it. That's why a lot of people resort to drugs and alcohol to even get in the mood to have sex. And that is something that you should not need in order to have sex. You shouldn't need drugs or mind-altering substances for you to be able to get into the mood. You shouldn't need Viagra or Cialis and all this stuff in order for you to perform sexually. I know some guys in high school, so keep in mind, these are guys under the age of 18 that were taking Viagra and taking Cialis. That is not normal. As a man, you should be able to sexually perform and not have that issue. Some people do have health problems. Some people have those issues, that they deal with individually, but that's a smaller percentage than what I'm talking about here. Now, back to the semen retention. Aside from the physical energy that you're exerting, you're also exerting yourself spiritually, because a lot of times, especially if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, then, you realize that God sees all and knows all of what it is that we do. So you kind of start to feel like there's a hedge somewhat between you and God when you participate in these kinds of acts. That is why we feel the guilt, we feel the shame inside of ourselves. We also feel like, maybe God may be upset with us because we're doing this. A lot of people ask the question, is masturbation a sin? And I know the Bible doesn't speak on masturbation specifically, but one thing that it does speak on is lust. And you have to think about, what is it that you're doing when you're watching pornography? You're lusting. You're lusting after that man. You're lusting after that woman, depending on what sex you are. And, this is something that the Bible speaks against over and over and over again. So, yes, I understand that people sin. Yes, I understand that, this is something that's very easy for us to access, especially nowadays. When I was younger, you had to have a PC or you had to have a videotape or something like that to watch pornography. Now, all you need is a cell phone. Just about everybody has a cell phone. So just think about how easy it is for you to access that and how hard it is for you to get away from it. Especially once you start off down that road, man, you just start to realize that, man, this is something that, it doesn't make me feel good, but it's something that's very, very hard to put down. I think a lot of people deal with this addiction more so than drugs and alcohol, because this is an addiction that you can't hide. This is an addiction that you can go inside of your home, go inside of your room, close the door, and nobody knows what it is that you're doing. Nobody's going to smell the pornography on your breath. No one's going to see the porn in your eyes. So it's something that is easily concealable, and I think that's why so many people do it. But when you pull back from it, you start to realize all of the negative effects that it has on you personally. I would say that everyone should stay away from, masturbation, especially pornography. And, nowadays, 9 out of 10 times, almost 10 out of 10 times, if you are masturbating, you are watching pornography. Not that many people have that good of an imagination to where they're just, using the thoughts inside of their head. And you have to realize what kind of energy you're inviting on yourself when you are participating in these kinds of acts. It's a lot of times, man, where me personally, I felt like, when I was engaging in those acts, like just a heaviness around me. And like I said before in prior videos, we live in a spiritual world just as much as we live in a physical world. So you have to realize that what kind of spirits, what kind of energy you are inviting in around you when you participate in these kind of acts. That's why as soon as it's over with, you just feel this immediate guilt, because and you can feel the energy change around you. Now, one of my favorite artists or one of my favorite producers is Kirk Franklin. I love Kirk Franklin's music. And Kirk Franklin came out some years ago and said that he was dealing with a pornography addiction, and a lot of people judged him for that. Now, I think it took a lot of courage for him, especially a man in his position, to come out and say, hey, this is something that I'm dealing with in my life. This is something that I struggle with. I've had to hide from my family, and it's just eating me up inside. I understand why he had to come out and admit I have an addiction, because a lot of times with addiction, that is the first step, is to admit that you have a problem. If you're not willing to admit that there is a problem, you'll more than likely continue that behavior. hopefully this video is inspirational to y'all. Hopefully this video is motivation for y'all and it's a blessing to y'all. I do plan on going in on this topic a bit more, but I just kind of wanted to scratch the surface on it in this video. And if y'all like anything I put in this video, anything at all, please go down, like the video down below. It helps out greatly. We want to get these videos out to as many people as possible, help as many people as possible. And if you struggle with any kind of pornography addiction, masturbation addiction, or if you have any other questions on semen retention, please drop those comments down below. The same way that I'm opening up and just talking to y'all, man, I want y'all to talk to me as well if you feel comfortable enough to do so. It's 502 King Paul. I love y'all. You have a blessed day. I'm out.